We are located at Shadow Mountain Spillway project. We're doing some concrete repairs up here. In addition to the concrete work, we have 2 large radial gates. Did repair work on the gate cables.
The Shadow Mountain Spillway structure, because it is an operational spillway, it's critical that we maintain the operational readiness of that spillway structure at all times.
This structure is critical in moving water. We want to make sure that it maintains its ability to pass water.
Overall, it's a good project. Took a lot of coordination between Bureau staff, Northern Water staff.
The work's been great, more than met my expectations.
Shadow Mountain Spillway structure is one part of the larger Colorado-Big Thompson project, which is jointly maintained between Northern Water and the Bureau of Reclamation. Shadow Mountain Reservoir is a key part of our West Slope collection system. Water flows into Shadow Mountain Reservoir, and that water is either released through the pier nose gates in the dam and flows down into Lake Granby, or flows into Grand Lake and then subsequently through the Alva B. Adams Tunnel. However, through late spring, through early summer, through runoff conditions, water is released from Shadow Mountain Reservoir through the spillway structure.
Alva B. Adams Tunnel can take 550 CFS. So if we have runoff in excess of 550, if they're taking 550 through the Alva B. Adams Tunnel, all the excess will go through Shadow Mountain and into Lake Granby. And then the only way to release that is through the pier nose, which will only go up to a certain amount of water. Everything above that will have to run through the spillway. So this is pretty critical infrastructure for Northern Water, the Bureau.
This spillway runs water every year. This structure's not here if something happens that we have to put a restriction on it. We can't move any water. It's critical that we don't have any kind of adverse gaps in the concrete. Start to see some deterioration in that. We can get some cavitation in there, some low pressure spots, and that can lead to slab jacking. On a spillway like this, that's probably one of the primary concerns, is that we could actually kind of uplift some of those spillway slabs, which could lead to failure. And we weren't there, but it's proactive maintenance at this point. It's been a few years since we've done any major work in the spillway, so we kind of reached that point where it was time.
The Shadow Mountain Spillway structure was part of the original CBT construction that was completed between the late 1930s and 1950s. The structure has been in place since that time. There had been some previous repairs on the structure as late as the 1970s and even a little bit later. Those repairs lasted for 50 years roughly, and since that time, new repairs were needed.
So we started last year by developing a plan, figuring out what needed to be fixed, and then this year we started actually doing those repairs. So at this point we've basically done concrete repairs on most of the left side of the spillway. So most of the left side chute has been repaired at this point.
SMRC engineers did the engineering on this project. Dietzler Construction did the concrete work. They're responsible for removal and replacement of the concrete. There's a lot of handwork that went into this, 30-pound jackhammers. So hats off to Dietzler and their crews for working through that. Within the time frame that we hired the contractors, Northern Water staff was able to complete some patching work. A lot of it was around the pier nose outlet that goes into the Colorado River. Why that's imperative is that pier nose outlet runs all year round. Also, staff was able to pour a new concrete pad around the Shadow Mountain shaft house. We did have to rent a crane. We're fortunate enough to have a staff member with that capability to run a crane. So Dan Falcon came over and ran the crane for us, saved a little bit of money on this project. We were responsible for installation of the coffer dam. That way, if we did have to open a gate during a rain event, that water would channel to one side of the spillway and stay out of the construction site. A lot of collections staff were here working on the gate cables. We're able to get those cables on, so we will be able to open the radial gates next year for runoff season. A couple of the challenges up here, one was weather. August, September, good working conditions for the mountains, but then you get into October, you start getting cooler temps, so we had to stay at 42 degrees, above 42 degrees when we pour our concrete.
We have some constraints in terms of construction schedule, as well as being mindful to impacts to recreational facilities. It's a very common area for recreationalists as well as fisheries. There's a frequently used trailhead just across the spillway that we had to temporarily close during this work effort. Given that we had a mitigation requirement to prepare a traffic control plan to provide alternative access to that trail network system so that that trail system was still able to be utilized. So in that process, we engaged the U.S. Forest Service, the National Park Service, as well as Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Another consideration was it being on the Colorado River, which is a major fishery. We coordinated with CPW that those impacts would be minimized. We had the contractor install debris perimeters to minimize the potential for any discharges of concrete. The contractor used concrete washout pans, eco pans, so that it doesn't make its way into the river, impacting the fisheries there.
Took a lot of coordination, but overall project went well. We finished about 45% of the whole overall project, and next year we'll try to get in here a little earlier in July and start the process over again.
We do have more planned for next year, do some more work on the floor, and then probably come back the following year and do some more work on the walls.